Okay team, it's a very cold morning today. In the background there is this horrendous screeching noise. That's a grip blaster that works down the road. So they're blasting steel right now, hence the background fuzz. So I apologise for that. I'll just try and talk a bit louder. Today generally we're feeling quite overwhelmed within Tarkine and the project. It's very daunting, there's so much to do and we're doing it alone, which is always just so hard. We can't afford to just pay an electrician to wire the boat, or an engineer to plumb it, or a boat builder to make a hatch. It's all up to us. So what we're doing is we're sort of like tunnel visioning smaller projects within the greater project. We've made a little list and I'm going to try and just focus on tiny projects so that I don't think about the bigger project, which is the entirety of the boat. Everything's sort of so half done and almost there, but not quite. So I'm just trying to do some finishing touches around the boat and little projects that I can do within a day or so, just to keep the mental state good. So today I'm going to make a holder for our Saloon light. So this little gem here we found online. This is quite a pretty light, and what I'm going to do is this little keeper plate here goes on there. The wiring comes through and actually comes through the cabin. In an episode a long time ago, we trenched a cable through the cabin top so that we could run a cable easily and not see it in the cabin. So this hangs in the center of the cabin and becomes a bit of a centerpiece. What I need to do is make a wooden blocking to sort of secure it to the deck head of the cabin. I want that to look quite pretty, but also it needs to hide the cables from inside. So I'm going to have to create a sort of hollow circle and be able to screw that up into the deck head. I'm going to use some celery top to match the cabin beams and it'll be varnished, and some nice edging on it to make it look pretty. First I need to find some wood within all this wood stuff we have everywhere, make a circle and try and work out how to get this to work. Cool. This is the light for anyone that may be curious. We've got a bulb in there, an LED bulb. This bulb switches between warm white and red, so you can select which colour you want. So at night if we're cruising we can use this as a red light, also to not ruin your night vision. It will move when we're sailing, pivot a bit, and I hope it doesn't squeak. I'm just going to wait and see how we go, and maybe one day we'll do something about it, but for now we'll just make the plate. I'll take you on a little journey so you can see how I find bits of wood in this shed. So here we have our first stack of wood. This is the commingled bits of wood of various shapes and sizes. The nice thing is you can see all the end grain quite easily, and I can tell what bits of wood are what. A lot of it's just rubbish that we are too scared to throw away, but a lot of it can be used. We've got some cleats that didn't work. There's lots of bits of wood here that didn't go to plan and end up back in this shelf. We've got vertical stacking. That's a common one in the shed, where we just put it against the walls. Over here next to the table saw is the growing pile of offcuts. So these are all offcuts that come off the table saw and go there. I'm waiting for Ifka's father to come back from the Netherlands to tidy this up. So John, if you're listening, we need this done. There's a piece of wood. Maybe. It's got a bit of heart cracking in it. I need 160. Ooh. Might actually get it out of this. Oh no, the heart's on that side. Nope. Okay. So over this side we have plywood. Just lots of horrible plywood. In this little rack we have specialty timber offcuts, So this is Huon pine, King Billy pine, myrtle, jarrah, so all the specialty wood that you might need for the odd plug or something, but there's nothing in there. This is the horizontal stack of another type. This is commingled projects that didn't work out. Down here we have, this is myrtle, so that's a big myrtle plank. And then we have a lot of celery top for the decking and bulwark wood, so the wood we use for the bulwarks, and often there's some big bits hanging around. But I don't think here is where I'm going to find my piece. I have one more spot that may work. Under here is rather large offcuts. Nothing really. That's sort of what I'm looking for, but that's too big. I think this is bandsaw offcuts, just for anyone that's interested. Total anarchy. We don't look at that pile. If I go upstairs, I have a funny feeling there was a piece of wood there. Under here. So that's what I'm looking for, but it's too big. I can't bring myself to cut that up, but it is another contender. Yeah, it's too beautiful. Okay, can't cut that up. Alright, back to the drawing board. Wood pile. Ooh, what's over there? That one there. Not quite big enough, but close. I could do a bit of swamp gum. What's this? Celery top, bit hearty, but might be alright. Okay, that could work. Need 165, so that'll just make it. This is an old hatch that didn't work out, but I think it'll make an okay circle. Nice. Okay, got my piece of wood. Now I'm just going to find a centre. So I've got 170, 85, somewhere there. Here's my centre. Use the compass. Okay, so now I've got a circle. Nice. Will I be able to trench that out enough for stuff to fit? I think so. Okay, I guess I'll just, it's going to be easier to, because I have to trench this out, and that's going to be easier to do while it's here. So I'm going to get a drill. Okay, I have my hole here, so I'm going to use the trimmer and run around and trench that out so that I've got somewhere for the cables to go from the top. So I'll go around that with a little trim. Alright, the hole. Now I'm going to cut a full circle out on the bandsaw. I think that's the next plan, yep. I think I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Maybe not. I'm going to make it a little bit more petite. Okay, that's the world's bluntest trimmer bit. Slightly regrettable using a blunt trimmer bit because now I've got a lot of hand sanding. You can see it burnt it. The way around, I was just trying to add this sort of like another layer of something interesting, but it backfired a bit. So I think I might actually just sand this top lip off, and then it's easier to sand by hand. Bit of a shame. Got to throw that one out. Looking better. Okie dokie, so I've drilled 3 little pilot holes here for the top mount. The next thing I need to do is I need to install a switch. So we've got these little toggle switches. I hope one day we can swap it out for a nice brass one, but for now I need to somehow get this through the wood so that we can switch it on and off. I could put it out the side, but that's a bit risky. I think it has to come out the bottom. So it's just going to poke through like that somehow. Yep. So I'll just drill a big hole. First I'll clear this out so the cable can get through nicely. Let's say that's there. Probably just want the switch somewhere easy. Doesn't actually matter. Okay, it's a hole. Now I just need to chisel this out. That's not food, chickens. Chisel this out enough for that to go through. Okay, I've sort of got most things prepared now. I have my little disky here, and then the toggle switch is rebaited in, ready to accept wiring, and all the wiring can hide away in here. Next I'm going to just drill pilot holes for the mounting screws that will hold it to the deck head. They're just going to be screwed in. This is all going to be sort of dry fitted in, and then at some point take it out and varnish it, but it's too cold. Well, I could probably take it home and varnish it actually. Maybe I'll do that. Take it home tonight and put some varnish on. I'll see how I go. But first I need to get my pilot holes drilled and then drill it up in the deck head nicely. Cool. So this is the cable coming from the deck head that I talked about. It actually runs across and goes just along this deck beam and then down the cabin and pops out there, so we don't have any cables in the deck head ruining the look of it. It was a bit of an effort, but I'm glad we did it. So now I've got this set up. The reason I have 3 red wires, which a few people will be asking why, is there's actually 2 bulbs in this. I had another bulb in there that was red and then the white light, but now we've discovered that there's a bulb that has both in each. So this other red wire is actually redundant, but I'm going to leave it there anyway. I suspect at some point this light will come down and I'll want to rearrange some things. But for now, the next plan is to get some terminals on here and then try and connect it all together and sort of stuff it in there hopefully. And yeah, see how that goes. And screw it all in there with only 2 hands. I always wish I had 3 hands, but can't have it all. So yeah, I'm going to trim these as short as I dare, which is not very short probably, but use a phone charger as a hold up. I'm sorry the lighting is so bad. Okay, USB-C charger always comes in handy. Wrap that somehow around this. Clove hitch that on. Yep, nice. Wrap that there. Okay. So now we have this. We need to connect the blacks together. This one and this one. Yeah, we have light. Okay. So this one is not used. This one. Okay, so now this has to go through here somehow. Now I just have to pack all these wires in here, including this wire. It's very interesting. Did I get it? Not quite. I got it. Now I have to use my mighty strength to... Oh, my arms are wearing thin. Wow, this is really just a workout. Oh. Okay. Come on, baby. Come on. Yeah. I've got a screw started, but I don't know how much longer I can go for. Come on, baby. Come on. You can do it, man. You can do it. It's really heavy. Over time, that's insane. How heavy something can become. It's absolutely crazy. Ah, yes! One more screw to go in here. Okay. Wow, I can't believe it worked out. Okay, we did it. So this is the light. So what happens, it resets the bulb after 3 seconds or 5 seconds. So now if I turn it on, theoretically, it should go red. Yep, so that's a red light you can see there. Turn it on and off again, white light. So it's a great little bulb. I have talked about them in a previous episode. I got them from the UK. There's a guy that makes them there. And they've really lasted a long time. I've had no issues with them. With the cheap sort of LED bulbs, I've noticed they just die after a while. We're running the whole boat on 12 volt power right now. And some bulbs that are too cheap just give up after no time at all. So I can spin the whole light around to face the other way, but I'll wait for Ifka, the interior decorator, to come have a look. Bit dusty, but I'm happy with that.